the person who's being hired has no qualifications whatsoever, no experience in anything, but he gets hired.
Yeah.
So that's going to make life more difficult for the manager.
Not only hired, next thing you know, he's the executive vice president.
But before that,
Yeah.
still, I mean, he's left to, this non-family member is left to, now he's in charge of this family member.
Yeah.
And his ability to have candid evaluations is pretty stunted. I mean, his job is on the line. I mean, the supervisor's job is on the line when he's evaluating this. So those are dynamics that come up in those, and tend to, can sway the, or make it more difficult to get qualified people that stay.
Yeah. Maybe we should move on a little bit. Why and when should a psychologist be brought to the table? So this is something that, it's kind of unusual in your approach, that you'd say, listen, we really need somebody else here with a different expertise.
Well, there are times when you could see the problems. I mean, you hear the people talking, how they talk about their children. You hear back from the children, and you sense that this not as all well in this particular family, and they're trying to try to keep them from fighting with each other by dividing the estates in different ways, and not dealing with the family issues that underlay this. Who feels like they're the most favored child, or who everybody thinks was the most favored child, and all of these issues, and those can get quite difficult. And particularly in the area, I had a case that brought this home to me, of a 40-year-old son who was trying to make his statement about the things that you gave me and you gave all of us is really mine, and it's still not yours. And when he confronted his parents, the mother said, "No, this is not yours. We may have given it to you and deeded it to you, but it's not yours until we die." And that was just for tax purposes.
You don't want the IRS to hear that one, do you?
No, I don't. And I can assure you that the son, and particularly the son's wife, didn't appreciate hearing that.
Yes.
Because basically she was saying to him, "You're still in our family. And you have this adjunct here, which you call your wife."
Yes.
And I'm sure she's been putting you up to these, confronting us about the things we said we did, but we really didn't do. We didn't really mean it. So you get those kinds of things. There you have to have somebody who's trained in how to train people to talk to each other and to listen to each other. In this case, the son was saying, "When do I get my say?" And she said, "Not until we die."
That's a real comforting statement. But it's true in a lot of families. They've got these hooks that they sort of retain.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but there needs to be, in some cases, like I said, the families need to learn to talk to each other, and many times in our culture, we don't very well.
Well, we think we do. But I've never even asked my children, what did you think I said to you? Or what do you think I'm doing? I mean, because I don't want the feedback.
Sometimes you don't want to ask the question if you don't want to hear the answer.
Right.
Let's, we just really have a few minutes left, but why don't you explain for a moment, John, what does the process mean related to family business succession planning?
Well, there's always two things in family business succession. One are the assets and the titles and the compensation and all the money and the business things. But in a family, there's a thing called process, and the process is talking to each other. How do you make your decisions? Does Dad make them, and then you find out from Mom or your brother? Or how is information transferred within the family members? You think, well, gee, that's just obvious. Well, it's not obvious. And you have to dig around and find out, oh, I see, this is how you tell Mom, this is very common, you tell Mom that Dad's not treating me right at work, so she tells Dad, and then Dad tells Mom, and then Mom tells me. And,
Oh, the big circles.
and then I tell my wife, and my wife say that's not that's bad. You're selling yourself out. You should stand up for yourself. So then we go back around the horn again. And so and as the family grows, as people come in like spouses, this gets more and more complex. And families are not trained how to do this.
Yeah.
And each generation is somewhat different, but so that's the.
Okay, we're going to be out of time here pretty soon.
Okay.
So I guess what I want to do is just, what are a couple of major thoughts that you have for people about approaching this subject and getting into business succession planning for a family business?
Well, there's two things that I think. One is to start and contact whomever your trusted advisor is, and hoping maybe he or she is watching this and realizes there's more to it than what you know. I mean, all professions, there's this attitude: if I only have a hammer, everything is a nail, because I have to solve this problem with what I know, and it can't be solved with what you know.
Yeah, so you can't
there's
just
more
put it
things.
in the cookie cutter estate
That's
plan.
right.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, that's right. We'd leave everything in equal shares and blah, blah, blah. So, so there's that aspect to it. Let's see, you asked me, what would I say? What are the important things?
Yeah, so a couple of important things in getting into this process.
I have to say that the legal and accounting, I'm not speaking for you, but the legal and accounting things are easy for us. I mean, we see them and we can, but it's choosing the right thing and choosing how it's going to be run, and then a continuation, because I see clients, I do the work, and I don't hear from them for 4 or 5 years. And so any processing about how this is going I'm not privy to. So there's that, to be setting up systems where there are meetings in family businesses. It's rare, but there's need to have meetings. Even if it's just a date and you meet, you have to get ready and make your reports, which you wouldn't otherwise do. So there's a lot of infrastructure that you need to put in. And if they're not willing to do that, then you have to say, well, if you just want to solve this by you doing your will or your trust and nothing else, I'm not going to give you any hope that this is going to be successful and achieve the goal that you want, which is peace in your family. And we do have a litigation group now that's growing edge.
Quite busy.
Busy, yes, from unsuccessful succession plans.
Okay. John, we're all out of time.
Okay.
So I want to thank you so much. It's such a pleasure having you here with me on this show. Folks, pay attention to this. If you have a family business, we hope that we've given you some things to think of, and we hope you can join us next time on Financial Insider Weekly.